So I found out the relationship about speaking and typing. So recently I've developed the well developing touch typing, which essentially forms from pianists who play piano. So the posture you are sitting in essentially plays a role in how you play the piano. While incorrect posture could essentially cause side effects. Hence, I've started to learn about what are other ways in which something that is artistical form that is represented in a daily activity. So typing will essentially form a connection with piano, the posture, how you sit, how you type. Speaking comes from singing. It's an artistic flow of using multiple of speaking from diaphragm instead of from the throat, which will have side effects. Um, and then walking is a elevator, perhaps elevates to dance. It's an expressive form of movement, different walking structures, carrying things. It's weightlifting, perhaps even sculpture work. Mm, I don't really know about sculpture work. Do you? I don't know. Cooking is a culinary arts. You could transform cooking into much more artistic. That makes sense. Writing notes could transform into calligraphy, which is quite cool. That is where your signature comes from. Decorating a room could transform into architecture or interior designing. Telling stories could transform into theater or literature work. Swiping on a phone could essentially draw into strokes or paintings, similar to echoing brushstrokes. Driving a car is like a chauffeur, a mastery of transportation and commuting. Voice messages can transform into opera or oration. I don't really know what oration means, but okay. Brushing your hair comes into carving, and sculpture, dressing comes in, elevates to fashion design and costume making. Makes sense. Gardening goes into landscape and landscape architecture, basic food growing or plant care, refined into an art form. Landscape architecture. Hmm, I don't know. Sleeping becomes a dream incubation. Ah, Eating becomes a culinary feast. Drinking becomes tasting ceremony. Greeting becomes a diplomacy etiquette. Arguing becomes a rhetoric philosophy. Listening becomes hearing appreciation. Looking at someone, portrait the fuck? Walking outdoors, touching some grass. Sacred pros. Huh? I guess that makes sense. Walking outdoors. Nobody does that. Running becomes a sprint, a marathon. Sitting becomes a ceremonial meditation. So does that mean that people who are working and sitting are automatically doing some ceremonial meditation? Work and tools. Cleaning a floor. Sandra garden. Yes. Washing clothes. Fabric arts. Fabric dyeing, artistic dyeing. Chopping vegetables. Sculpting. Building a shed. Architecture and masonry. Writing a shopping list. Poetry and literature. Hmm. Smiling. Theatrical expression, or rather, mask making. Crying. Such a tragedy. Whistling. Birdsong imitation. Stretching. Dance warm-ups. Martial arts katas. Breathing. Pranayama. Wind instrument performance. Social culture. Sharing food. And I'm not about that. Potlatch ceremonies. Communion ceremonies. Hosting guests. Hospitality feast. Artistical ritual of feast. Buying and selling. Trade markets and fairs. Ceremonies telling jokes. Comedy performance. Celebrating birthdays. Seasonal festivals. Yo,